Most people are not exhausted because they are busy. They are exhausted because they are living several different lives at the same time. And those lives don't fully agree with each other. There is the life others expect you to live. There is the life you believe you should be living. There is the life you are capable of living. There is the life you genuinely want. And then there is the life you actually live every day. When these versions of life don't align, something inside begins to feel strained. If you've ever achieved something and still felt strangely unsatisfied, you've felt this gap. If you've ever said, "I should" more often than "I want," you've felt this gap. If you've ever been productive but not peaceful, accomplished but not fulfilled, then you already understand what misalignment feels like. It doesn't look dramatic. It looks functional, responsible, even impressive. But internally, it feels divided. There is a quiet difference between what others think you should be doing and what you truly want to be doing. That difference can shape an entire lifetime. Imagine someone who becomes a lawyer because it's respected, stable, and admired. Others approve. They are capable. They succeed. But deep inside, they long for something creative, something expressive. Every day they perform competence, but every night they feel a subtle emptiness. Not because they failed, but because they succeeded at something that never fully belonged to them. Then there is what you believe you should be doing. This one is more complicated. Sometimes the loudest voice in your head doesn't actually belong to you. It belongs to your parents, or your culture, or your community. It might sound like your own thought, but it was planted early. Be practical. Don't disappoint us. Security first. These messages are often given with love, sometimes with fear, sometimes with sacrifice behind them. Over time, you absorb them. They become your inner compass. But are they truly yours? What you can do is another layer. You may be talented in areas that are different from what you desire. You might be excellent at organizing, leading, analyzing, building, and so the world rewards you for it. Capability attracts opportunity, but capability does not always equal calling. Just because you can do something does not mean it nourishes you. Yet many people build their entire identity around what they can do well, not around what they genuinely want. And then there is what you want. This is often the quietest category. It whispers instead of shouts. It's the small pull toward writing, creating, teaching, traveling, simplifying, connecting, resting. But this voice can be drowned out by should and by fear. Sometimes you silence it because it feels impractical. Sometimes you silence it because you don't know how to justify it. Sometimes you silence it because you don't fully trust yourself. Finally, there is what you actually do. This is the most honest mirror. You might say you value family, but you spend evenings on your phone. You might say you want health, but you prioritize work every time. You might say you crave creativity, but you never begin. The gap between intention and action is not always laziness. Often it reflects deeper misalignment. If what you are doing daily is mostly driven by external expectation, your energy will feel forced. If your actions overlap even partially with what you genuinely want and believe in, energy begins to feel more natural. The degree of alignment between these categories often depends on how coherent your sense of self is. And that coherence usually begins in childhood. When you were young, were you encouraged to explore your preferences? Or were you shaped into a role? Did you feel safe expressing disagreement? Or did harmony require suppression? Children who grow up with space to discover themselves often develop stronger inner clarity. Children who grow up needing to adapt for approval often become highly functional adults who struggle to identify what they truly want. Generational patterns quietly play a role here. Parents who sacrifice stability may push practicality. Parents who faced scarcity may value security above all. Parents who were criticized may unconsciously raise perfectionists. It is rarely malicious. It is usually inherited. But unless examined, it becomes destiny. You begin to confuse inherited expectation with authentic desire. You mistake adaptation for identity, or When these 5 areas, what others expect, what you believe you should do, what you can do, what you want, and what you actually do, move in different directions, life feels fragmented. Fragmentation creates fatigue, not physical fatigue, existential fatigue. You wake up already negotiating with yourself. You move through the day managing contradictions. You feel productive, but not peaceful. Alignment, on the other hand, creates coherence. It does not require dramatic change. It requires awareness. It requires asking simple but uncomfortable questions. If no one were watching, would I still choose this? Is this goal truly mine, or am I maintaining someone else's vision? What small adjustments would move my daily actions closer to what I genuinely value? Alignment does not mean abandoning responsibility. It does not mean rejecting your family or society. It means integration. It means gradually increasing the overlap between what you believe, what you desire, what you are capable of, and what you practice daily. Even small overlaps matter. An hour a week dedicated to something that feels authentic can restore energy. A boundary expressed calmly can reduce internal tension. A redefinition of success can soften resentment. A good quality of life is less about eliminating stress and more about reducing internal contradiction. When your actions begin to resemble your values, when your capabilities are used in ways that feel meaningful, when your desires are acknowledged instead of dismissed, life feels lighter. Not perfect, coherent. Coherence brings peace. Not because everything becomes easy, but because you are no longer divided within yourself. And perhaps that is the quiet secret most people miss. Exhaustion is not always about effort. Sometimes it is about misalignment. And the more your life reflects who you truly are, rather than who you were told to be, the more stable, grounded, and fulfilled you become. Alignment is not a luxury. It is psychological integrity. And integrity, over time, becomes quality of life. Thank you for watching. Please share with others and subscribe for more videos.